So,
Talk to me, baby.
so I'm running the show today, apparently.
Yay.
Today's episode is going to be a Let's Talk episode. We are going to be talking about my personal favorite, Kingdom Hearts.
And that's why you're running the show, because I don't know anything. For once, I'm uninformed, so you get to be the informee.
Yeah. And I can finally say, I am your host, Mike.
Yay. And I'm the secondary host, Adam, this time. I'm riding shotgun.
So, basically, we're going to be discussing... I'm going to be answering your questions. We're going to be discussing the story so far, as convoluted as it may be.
Convoluted's a good word for it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's just say there is plenty of videos on YouTube that tries to explain it as best they can.
Let me start with a question just for you to ease you into it. What the hell's going on?
Who the fuck knows?
What? I keep trying to think of questions, but I keep coming back to what's going on, what's happening. I know that they had the main 3 games, now 4 once the 4th one comes out.
Yep.
They've remade and remastered the first 2 at least a couple different times and put them in a bundle or whatever. Did they ever add any stories and things to that, or clarify story stuff in that, or did they save that for the additional games in between all that crap?
Well, let's start from the beginning.
Okay, that sounds good. Once upon a time,
Yeah, apparently.
Walt Disney made Mickey.
Oh my god, I just got thrown off at the beginning of the episode. God damn it.
I am so sorry.
No, that's okay. So, my love of Kingdom Hearts started with the first one.
Ooh, that's a good way. Let's tell about how we started off on the game, because I have played Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
And I got to... I think I didn't beat it, but I was with my best friend at the time, because we would go back and forth to each other's houses. If we were over at his, we were playing Kingdom Hearts and trying to get through the story. If we were back at my house, we were playing something else, probably on the GameCube at the time.
Yeah.
I remember playing Kingdom Hearts with him and getting through most of it. You're going to have to explain how and why there are people on this random island. And is that one of those things where it's a doorway to somewhere else and that's just the place that they ended up? How did the kids get there? What the hell's going on the island? Why are hearts important to things? Why is a sword a key? What is that? How do people lose their hearts? What the hell is your heart in this thing? Who are these people? Why is there Final Fantasy in my Disney? Who put chocolate in my peanut butter?
Well, to start, a little backstory on what Kingdom Hearts is. It's a PlayStation 2 game that came out in 2002. Oh dear God, Matt wasn't even born.
23 games, 23 years.
Yeah.
As of this year.
It was a collab between Disney and Square Enix, which that story was very fun to find out about.
I was going to say, you shared that story before. You want to do it again for people who don't know?
Yes. For people who didn't hear me the last time I said it or don't know the story, Kingdom Hearts came around because somebody from Square Enix, I don't remember exactly who, just happened to be riding an elevator with a Disney executive and pitched the idea in the elevator, and they liked it so much that it ended up going through that way. If that situation did not happen, we wouldn't have the series today. Which is pretty damn cool.
Yes, it is. It's always those chance meetings and stuff that you just take a quick chance and you never know what's going to come out of it. And we got Kingdom Hearts from it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is from a time where,
Dude's name and I can't find it.
and that's from a time like you think Disney is very protective of their IP now. They're very lax to what it was back then.
They've kind of opened up the doors gently now compared to before. Before it was just like, no, this is ours. You don't touch. You don't do anything.
Like, right, they even sniff that you may be thinking about using Mickey Mouse in something or any of their IP.
If you put 3 circles too close to each other, it's gonna look like Mickey, and then they're gonna sue your ass.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. They were not nice about their cease and desist orders. But no. My first foray into the series, actually, I didn't have a PS2 at the time. My next door neighbor at the time, his older brother had gotten Kingdom Hearts. And I was over and we were watching him play, and I thought, oh my god, this is freaking cool.
So a similar story to me.
Oh yeah. And mind you, I had just gotten into playing Final Fantasy 7 and 9 and all those games.
Okay, so this was like perfect.
Oh yeah,
Perfect
absolutely.
timing.
So when I'm seeing those my favorite characters from those games in there, I'm like, holy shit. So I liked it so much, I kept asking my parents. And for Christmas they got us a PlayStation 2 and Kingdom Hearts.
Nice.
So, like, I went into it. I played the game straight through. Didn't try to do the extras at that time. Just play the story as it was. Once I beat the game, that's when I tried to do the completionist stuff. Like any kid at that point, if you're really into a game.
Right.
You try to go for the Easter eggs. Even went so far as to get the guidebook. Had...
You know what? That was like one of those perfect games for the guidebooks too.
Oh yeah,
Because of like the hidden bosses or like the optional bosses and the things that you can do that it's not part of the mainline story. That was one of the things that I liked about Kingdom Hearts 1 too, is just like the optional bosses fit into the story and it was still part of it, but you didn't have to do it.
exactly.
And it made thematic sense too, which was really cool. And not to mention it wasn't easy.
And what's funny is the two main secret bosses in that game. Both of them weren't original to the game.
Really?
The original release in Japan, they weren't there. Those two were
Really?
they were added into the U.S. version, and at least one of them, there was a contest that they had ran, and kids could put in entries to name the character, and that's how that boss was named.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So I thought
It's also kind of crazy that it didn't start off in the Japanese version. It was the American version first. Is it because of the challenge? Because if I'm not mistaken, challenges were the Japanese thing. Like the original Marios were harder than the American versions of them.
well, the original release was in Japan. When they brought it over to the U.S., they added those extra stuff. But then eventually they went back and re-released it in Japan as the final mix version, which includes the extras from the U.S. version, the new color schemes just for that particular iteration, which ironically enough is, if you get the versions now, they are the final mix versions, so you're not gonna get the original color schemes anymore.
Oh, that kind of stinks.
I get the reasoning why, because then that just means more reprogramming and stuff like that. But for a while, people were begging for the final mix version to be released in the U.S. because we didn't get it. The only time the U.S. got it, or everywhere else outside of Japan, was when they re-released it. The 1.5 and the 2.5 versions. For what, PS3?
Do you know why that is?
It was just at the time, Japan was very exclusive with certain things. Like, there were a lot of things Japan that got for games and memorabilia and stuff like that we never saw.
I guess it makes sense. Sorta. I don't know. It doesn't. It doesn't.
They like their exclusives. I don't know.
So,
But
starting off at Kingdom Hearts 1, can you tell me, can you, like, summarize the story that makes sense? Because I know we've talked about it in passing or, like, off podcasts and stuff, and you've told me, but I still don't get it.
all right. So the first installment, or Kingdom Hearts 1, is basically a story about a kid named Sora.
Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah, played by Haley Joel Osment. Lives in. We're assuming this is Earth. His world is Earth,
Well, there's
or
no
Destiny.
indication, is there?
No, not really.
Yeah, it's just called
Destiny Island.
Destiny Island.
Yep.
Yeah.
So him and a couple of his friends are making a raft to go travel the world, or go to different worlds, as they said. And at some point, their particular world gets consumed by dark beings, the Heartless, as we later find out. And that's where he gets his Keyblade. Fights the first main boss that you see. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of him, but that's bad.
That's all right.
And then after that fight, the world gets swallowed up by that darkness, and he gets thrown to another world. While all this is happening, Donald and Goofy, of all people, because this is a Disney game as well, they live in Mickey Castle.
Is that the name of the world?
I believe so. It had a name, and it was actually supposed to be visitable in the first game, but they scrapped it. But the icon is still there. So I'm just going to call it Mickey Castle at that point. I don't remember the name of the world in the second game. Whatever. But we get the point. Mickey is apparently the king. Minnie's the queen.
Big surprise.
Yep. Donald's the high mage, and Goofy's the knight. So,
Totally believable.
yep, pretty much. Donald and Goofy realize Mickey's gone missing. Leaves a letter saying, "Hey, these worlds are getting paraphrasing here. These worlds are getting swallowed up by the darkness. I'm gonna go see, try to stop this. Look for this person with a key." Which happen, you come to find out, is Sora, because he ends up having a weapon called the Keyblade.
I'm trying so hard not to interrupt you and ask a bunch of questions based on things I already know.
That's okay. But they eventually meet up. And they travel world for world trying to find Mickey and Sora's lost friends. They end up fighting. The people that are bringing about the darkness at that time were Disney villains like Maleficent, Hook, Hades, Jafar, all them. They defeat them one by one until eventually they come across find Riku, which at that point has been possessed by darkness, I'm guessing, as the best explanation. And then come to find out that the darkness that he's being possessed by is a Heartless named Xehanort.
Okay.
And he just happens to be the Heartless of the researcher that was playing with creating Heartless artificially.
So they're creations?
Yes and no. There are Heartless which are the Shadow Heartless, the ones without the symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Any ones that you see without the symbols, they are naturally created by the world.
Okay.
The ones with the symbols are artificially created.
I did not know that.
But because of his research, he figured out a way to become a Heartless himself and become all powerful, just to get to be able to open Kingdom Hearts.
What is that? That's the $20 million question.
Yeah, pretty much. From my understanding of the way it's explained in playing the games, it's basically the heart of all worlds, basically. I'm assuming it's like the origination of everybody's heart and where everything began and stuff like that.
Okay.
But he tries to seek it for his answers and to gain more power and stuff like that. Got defeated, but at the end of the game, in order for them to close up Kingdom Hearts to prevent the darkness from seeping out, because not only Kingdom Hearts is full of light, it's also full of pure darkness. So that it doesn't seep out, they have to close the door. Well, for them to close the door, people had to close it from the inside and the outside. So Riku and Mickey trapped themselves inside, where Sora, Donald, and Goofy closed it from the outside. And that's how the first one ends.
Okay.
Did that help clear anything up?
No. I mean, yes and no. Who? Okay, I've just got names floating around in my head right now. So who is Ansem, who is Xehanort, and who is Xemnas? Is Xemnas from another one, not from the first one?
Xemnas is from the second one.
Okay, we'll take that one out then.
Ansem, from the first game's perspective, is the main bad guy.
Okay.
He is supposedly the researcher that was playing around with darkness and creating artificial Heartless.
Okay.
As the installments go on, you come to find out that guy that it calls him Ansem is not really Ansem, but the Heartless of a character named Xehanort.
Okay.
Who is an assistant to the real Ansem, who also was researching darkness, but not in the manner that Xehanort was.
So he just took his name?
Yes. I don't remember the reasoning why. It's when his Heartless split from his body, is when he took on the moniker Ansem.
Did it become like a separate being?
So basic description of what
that's a two-part question for you. Do you become a different being when you become a Heartless, and how the hell does that happen? Because Sora became a Heartless somewhere towards the end. Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah.
He lost his heart at some point, and you get to run around as him as a Heartless, but then he becomes Sora again.
Yes.
How?
So when a Heartless is created when somebody loses their heart. Their heart separates from their body. And it's not like
lose your heart, you die.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? How do you lose your heart? You need that to live.
Well,
yeah,
in terms of
it is, you're right.
In terms of the game, it seems like their heart is the heart they're talking about is like their soul type of thing. So once that leaves your body, it turns in. If you have a strong enough heart, it gets turned into what's called a Heartless. Irony in the name, I get. Yes.
Is the word hollow thrown around in this? Besides, like, the city name. Are there enemies or characters called hollows? It just feels like that fits if you're missing part of yourself.
I'm sure there's one of the Heartless that has hollow in its name, but I think you might be confusing it with hollows from Bleach.
I didn't watch Bleach.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm actually thinking of hollows from Dark Souls.
Okay.
They have no humanity. Anyway.
But, yeah. So, in terms of Kingdom Hearts 1, that's what happens. When your heart is separated from your body, you become a Heartless. and depending on how strong that heart was, will determine what form it takes. Whether it be a lowly shadow, one of the higher forms of heartless, or even go so far as to take on a humanoid version of yourself, if that makes sense. So
that sounds like it's becoming an entirely different person. Or is it still like the same person, just different behavior?
Yes and no.
I feel like this is going into game 2, isn't it? With the
yes,
the 13 or whatever. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, we'll get there then.
Yes.
With the first game, do you feel like it laid enough of a foundation that it made sense to people? Because I know that it grabbed people and it spurred on everyone to want a sequel, of course. But
yes, it did. The storyline, if it had just been left as it was, and no sequels came out or anything like that, it could be a standalone story. It's not. You could be satisfied just completing that game. It's when you start going into the side games, and Kingdom Hearts 2 is when the convolution starts coming about.
they also added some mystery like towards the end of that game too. I forget how to do it or what the way to do it is, but then there's like you beat the game and you get the special cutscene where it's like the Keyblade Wars or whatever I think is what it's called.
That's the end credits scene, and that's after Kingdom Hearts 2. And the end credits scene for Kingdom Hearts 1.
The one that I'm thinking of is 3 knights in a battlefield of just Keyblades in the ground fighting a wizard. That was at the end of 1, wasn't it?
That was at the end of 2.
No, that was at the end of 1. Don't tell me it was at the end of 2.
It's at the end of 2.
No. I gotta look this up now. Have I been wrong?
Because that is the teaser. People for years thought that was going to be Kingdom Hearts 3, but in actuality, it was actually birthed by sleep.
I don't know what that means.
That's the PSP game, which we'll talk about eventually.
Okay. So the only other Kingdom Hearts game I played was on the DS, and that was all card-based, but I don't remember jack shit about that game. So on to 2. What's this about the organization?
Actually, before 2, there's a game before 2.
Oh, no.
The first side game.
I don't know anything.
Which is Chain of Memories.
Okay. And what is this one supposed to be about?
It's basically it teases the Organization 13, like you run into Organization members, but you don't know that they're Organization 13.
Oh, it sets up the second game?
Yep, pretty much. Like, you don't have to play the first game to play the second game. I mean, play the side game to play the second game, but it adds to some story. And that one takes place in a place called Castle Oblivion, where Donald, Goofy, and Sora come across this world. Come to find out, he was led there, and they wanted to basically steal his memories so that they could use him to fight the Heartless. Because at that point is when they start hinting at that he is the key to opening up Kingdom Hearts. And in order to do that, he has to kill as many Heartless as possible. Because the more Heartless he kills with a Keyblade gets stored in the doorway or passageway to get to open up Kingdom Hearts. They go into.
I don't expect you to have the answer to this, but I was going to say how.
I'm guessing their hearts return to Kingdom Hearts, and if enough of them return, the doorway opens. I'm guessing.
So defeating them fixes it? Fixes the Heartless, I guess?
Yes. No, fixes the doorway?
I guess that makes... Wait, what was wrong with the doorway? Did I miss that?
It was closed. It was sealed off at the end of the first game. So the way they're going about doing it is another way to open up Kingdom Hearts. Which we later find out the reason why they're doing that, which we find out in Kingdom Hearts 2, is because the Organization 13 is what's called a nobody. They are when the heart leaves the body, what's left over becomes a nobody.
And is this based on how powerful the heart is, like you were mentioning?
Yes. If it's a strong person, their heart turns into a heartless, their body turns into a nobody. Except the nobody, if it's strong enough, will where the heartless doesn't always resemble the person they previously were. The body usually does.
Okay.
If they don't, there's usually a reasoning why. But we don't find that out. We don't find that out till later on.
So then, why are there 13 of them?
Because they are. That leads to the lore that's built into the game, where it's the 13 darknesses versus the 7 lights.
You're killing me here. Like I don't know anything about the stories from like 2 on. Like I only know about 1 and like the little games. So the fact that you're throwing this at me, I'm like, what the fuck? What?
The way they open Kingdom Hearts in the first game, I know I'm not doing the best of explanations, but the way they opened Kingdom Hearts in the first game was with the 7 princesses of heart. So like Cinderella,
that's
Snow
why you
White.
had to go to the different places to help the lands.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And that represents the 7 lights.
Right.
The Organization 13 are supposed to be the 13 darknesses. And the clash between the two is supposed to be another way to open up Kingdom Hearts.
So then where did the 13 darknesses come from?
In Kingdom Hearts 2, they are people that were around Xehanort at the time when he turned into a heartless and a nobody, because they are fellow researchers, local children that played in the area, and I'm trying to think who. Yeah, I'd have to say it's the researchers, and I'm not exactly sure the backstory that they gave with Marluxia and Larcene. But basically,
I don't recognize any of those names. I only know Roxas, and that's it.
Which is a good name to know, because he's supposedly Sora's nobody.
What? But what?
So
But Sora's alive.
when Sora became a Heartless, Roxas was split from him. He became his nobody.
But then why is he still around if Sora has his heart back?
When he was turned back, I'm sure there's an explanation for it, but I'm not remembering it off the top of my head. The way I'm understanding it is when Sora became a Heartless, Kairi brought him back, or at least gave him his humanoid form. I'm assuming at that point he's still technically a Heartless, unless I'm misunderstanding it incorrectly. But the point of Chain of Memories was to bring them back together. So that at the end of Chain of Memories is to bring Sora and Roxas back together so that they can become one whole person again.
Okay. Was that successful?
Yes. At the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2 starts with you're playing as Roxas, not realizing that he is a nobody, and that he's actually in a digital world for safekeeping while they're trying to restore Sora's memories so that they can merge together.
Hence Chain of Memories from the other game.
Exactly.
Ho ho. Okay. Starting to come together now.
So that's the tutorial section, and then once they merge is when the actual game starts. And Kingdom Hearts 2 is basically Sora facing the rest of the Organization 13, who's trying to restore Kingdom Hearts, and are not so subtly saying, hey, go ahead, kill as many Heartless as you want, because that's what we want you to do. But at this point, they find Mickey again fairly quickly in the game. And come to find out, that's how they find out that Ansem was not really Ansem and is actually Xehanort.
By finding Mickey again?
Yes, because they end up meeting up in Castle Oblivion at some point.
Oh, you remember the name?
That one I remember. They meet up at Castle Oblivion at some point, and when they go through the research lab.
I have to ask, how did he get out?
Out of darkness? Oh my god. I want to say he ended up getting a... This happened in Chain of Memories. Because Riku and Mickey ended up in Castle Oblivion through the darkness somehow.
Okay.
And then as they're passing through, they're becoming more familiar with the dark side, even though Riku was tainted by it previously. And I want to say his portion of the story is he's learning, hey, you can actually use darkness for good and not evil. Because throughout his story, they're Ansem is basically trying to retake control of him because he was still there.
Is he able to take control of him because of darkness, or because of what's it? Because wasn't Riku jealous of Sora because he wanted the Keyblade, or he was a better warrior, or whatever, and he thought that he deserved it?
The story from my understanding at that point, Riku was actually supposed to get the Keyblade. Sora only got it because he was the next one around, and Riku was already consumed by darkness. Like he fell prey to Ansem and everything like that, and took in the darkness. So Keyblade passed on to the next person, which happened to be Sora. And because of that, he wanted to take it back and everything like that in the first game. In the second game, as they're going through everything and figuring out how to handle organization and all that stuff, Riku ends up getting his own Keyblade when he needed it, and they end up fighting the main boss of the organization, which happens to be Ansem's darkness, which is Xemnas, one of the other. At the end of the game, they beat him. And Riku, Sora, and Kairi end up going back to Destiny Isle, while Goofy, Donald, and Mickey go back to Mickey's castle.
How were they able to go back to the island if it got swallowed up by darkness?
Because the island came back at the end of the first game.
Okay.
When they finally closed Kingdom Hearts at the end of the first game, the worlds that were swallowed up by the darkness were restored.
Okay. How the hell do you get a Keyblade? Because you said Riku ended up getting one. Do they just show up and you pick it up and it's yours now, or do they get made by something? Here, let me ask you this too. In addition to this, why do I feel like I saw something somewhere of a person or something pulling a Keyblade out of somebody else or something?
What you're talking about is how in the first game, that would be the Keyblade of Darkness, which was created by Ansem / Riku, using the princess's hearts.
Okay.
And those hearts were removed and stored within that Keyblade. That Keyblade, where the actual Keyblade locks the worlds to protect it from being swallowed by darkness. That particular
one that Sora has?
Yes, the Keyblade of Darkness unlocks people's hearts. And the only way to destroy that Keyblade was to collect all 7 Princesses of Heart.
So then how are Keyblades made?
That's also where the convolution comes in. Basically, the Keyblades, from my understanding, short of their that one that we were just talking about, they're made from the light within a person.
Okay.
And they take on the form of the person who originally summons them, type of thing. So, like, for example, Sora, besides the Kingdom Key and like select few other Keyblades, Riku's was an evolution of his weapon, the Soul Eater. The Keyblade he summoned was called Way to the Dawn, which was an evolution of his sword, the Soul Eater, from the first game, which is a weapon he summoned through the darkness.
Okay.
When it evolved into the Way of the Dawn, it showed his understanding and acceptance of his power being a mixture of light and darkness. That's why if you look at it, it's the blade is like a bat wing, but the key portion is an angelic wing, and so is the hilt.
Okay.
By the way, still one of the most badass Keyblades I've ever seen. Kairi ended up summoning a Keyblade at some point in that game as well. I want to say it was to protect Sora or something along those lines. And then later on, we find out the reasoning why they were able to summon Keyblades, because not everybody is the Keyblade wielders themselves have to have been given what's called the rite of passage, which is a ritual.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a ritual. It's supposedly a ritual from where a Keyblade wielder either exposes them to their Keyblade or hands over the Keyblade to them so that they obtain the right to wield a Keyblade of their own.
So you just hand somebody a Keyblade and then they're like, oh, you can get your own now.
Yes. Like, it can't be forcibly taken. Like, let's say, like in the case of Riku
wanted to steal it from Sora, but he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it, but at that point, he was already there. I'm gonna jump ahead as to how they gained the right to be able to wield the Keyblades.
Okay.
Riku gained his ability to wield the Keyblade from meeting up with a character named Terra, who is a Keyblade wielder from Birth by Sleep. They had met, and he passed on. Terra saw that he was a strong person of heart, so he gave him the rite of passage so that he was able to be able to wield a Keyblade in the future.
Now, hang on. You say in the future, did he time travel or something?
The events of Birth by Sleep happened, I want to say, if I remember correctly, 10 years before the events of Kingdom Hearts 1.
So then how the hell did he meet Terra?
Terra went to Destiny Island when they were kids. When Riku, Sora, and Kairi were kids.
Can I ask why?
Because in that game they could free, because of the armor that they had, because Keyblade wielders at that time had their own armor that protected them from the darkness, and because of that they could travel through what's called the corridors of darkness to go from world to world to world. Versus
that would explain how Mickey got out. Okay.
He was able to do that because he had an organization coat, which does the same job.
Okay.
Crap, I'm trying to remember where we left. But yes, that's how Riku gained the ability to be able to wield a Keyblade. Sora gained his ability how to wield a Keyblade because of a character named Ventus.
I don't know that name.
But if you look at him, you'll notice he's very familiar. If you want, you can look
up these people
Yes.
so I can see what they look like. Keep going.
But Ventus was also one of those Keyblade wielders that was...
Oh, okay.
Look familiar?
That looks like Sora.
No, Ventus, not Vanitas.
Ventus.
Ow.
Ventus. Kind of looks like Sora. Also a little bit like Roxas, like if you put them two together.
It's exactly like Roxas.
Oh, yeah, I just looked up Roxas really quick. Yeah, it's like literally the same face.
Yep. But there's
Just different clothes.
But there's a reason for it.
Okay.
So, reason why Roxas looks the way he looks different from Sora is because when Sora was little, Ventus had just died playing, or lost his heart playing in a big battle between him, Terra, Aqua, which is also one of their friends, and the big bad for Birth by Sleep. Because he lost his heart and it was damaged, his heart ended up finding Sora. And he was drawn to Sora's light, basically. And Sora took him in so that his heart can still go on. And because of that, Sora was able to wield a Keyblade of his own.
Was this a willing thing or just an emotional feeling thing?
It was a willing thing. He came. Roxas or Ventus's soul was looking for something. Found that light. Sora recognized it subconsciously and was like, "Okay, I'll take you in." Obviously, he doesn't remember any of that.
Yeah.
But took him in so that his heart could continue and repair and stuff like that. Kairi got her ability to wield the Keyblade from Aqua.
I recognize that name too.
She's one of the other Keyblade wielders from Birth by Sleep.
Okay.
Except, remember how Kairi said she wasn't, how the premise of Kingdom Hearts 1 and why they wanted to go to different worlds, Kairi wasn't originally from Destiny Islands?
Mm-hmm.
She is originally from Castle Oblivion.
Okay.
So she was a resident of that world and somehow ended up in Sora and Riku's world. Well, while Kairi was really little, Aqua saved Kairi from Heartless. And she ended up giving her the rite of passage at that time as well. So that's how she's able to wield the Keyblade.
Okay. This really sounds like they're making the stories for the main games, and then they're like, oh shit, we got to figure out why this is the way it is, and then making these stories in between the games so that way you understand what happened.
It appears that way, but supposedly Nomura had, after Kingdom Hearts 1, he had this whole thing planned out on how he wanted to do it. I don't exactly know how, I don't necessarily know if I believe it or not.
I believe it mostly. I'd say like 80%. I can see that, but like fully fleshed out and idealized, maybe not, but he's probably had like the groundwork for all this stuff.
Right. Probably was like, okay, I want to get to this point, this point, this point. This is the overall story. How did this happen, or how did we get to this point? And I'm assuming that's how it went.
So, speaking of to this point, let's jump back to the middle of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay.
They're trying to stop Organization 13 from getting enough Heartless to fix the door to open it again? Is that what they're doing?
Exactly. Because what they're trying, the reason why Organization 13 is trying to open up Kingdom Hearts, which is kind of a sad thought, is they're tired of being nobodies, so they want to get their heart back.
Okay, I can understand that.
But
I'm waiting for the but.
I'm just trying to. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just trying to figure out why is it such a bad thing that they're doing that. But at the same time, I'm also realizing, okay, they're creating a whole bunch of other Heartlesses and making people lose their shit just so that they can get their
opening the door, and it's letting darkness out.
Right.
Is it not?
Yes.
Yes, so it sounds like it's a selfish thing and dooming everybody else just for their own sake.
Right.
Which is bad.
Yes, it is.
So then how do they reconcile Kingdom Hearts 2?
They reconcile Kingdom Hearts 2 by defeating Ansem's nobody, Xemnas, and then closing the door to Kingdom Hearts. Except now
So
this
it opened again.
Yes, it had opened again, and same thing. They have to close it from both sides. Except this time, it's Sora and Riku that are on the inside.
Oh, interesting.
So they get closed into the darkness, but this time around, Kairi was able to lead them back to the light. I'm assuming because she's the princess of light.
Show me the champion of light. All I'm thinking of is Alan Wake now.
Oh, God.
Okay, so see that's also a confusing thing because you said when it was Riku and Mickey, they found their way back through darkness corridors or whatever, and
Right.
now Kairi helped them find their way because same thing, but she was like their light in the darkness.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
I guess, sorta.
right. So it basically gets them to come back at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, and then at that point, like the last final scene, a little time passes by after Mickey, Donald, and Goofy go back home. They get a message in a bottle, because apparently that's how they send mail to each other from world to world.
That's interesting. That's actually a really cool idea.
And
Although I don't know how that would work.
and they get a message from King Mickey, which they don't explain what it is at that time. You find out later on in another installment what he's talking about.
Ain't that like how it always is?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then that leads into the extra scene that you were talking about, which
I had myself convinced that was at the end of the first one for some reason. Because I've seen that clip multiple times, and I'm like, this is interesting. I want to know more about this.
yes,
But,
that is what got people super excited and were thinking, oh, sweet, they're working on Kingdom Hearts 3. No, that's not Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 was not greenlit at that point. There was hopes and at that point that scene was put in there because there was hopes and dreams that if they greenlight a Kingdom Hearts 3, it's a teaser for the next installment.
but that's not how Kingdom Hearts 3 ended up.
No.
It seemed more mature. Like the subject matter and what was going on. It felt
Right.
a lot more adult-oriented than what was going on.
Yes, it did. Oh, you should have heard the amount of fan theories when that came out before anything after that. Holy crap!
Hit me with one.
Like one of them was they believed that those three people were Riku, Sora, and Kairi,
Oh, that would make sense.
but it didn't make sense because they were. It made sense and didn't make sense because as they are walking up, at the center of that scene was, at least in the teaser, it didn't happen in the actual game though. The Way to the Dawn, Riku's Keyblade, the Kingdom Key, which is Sora's Keyblade, and Mickey's Kingdom Key D, which is basically a palette swap, which is supposed to be the Kingdom Key version for Darkness. They end up putting down their Keyblades, which is the ones that Terra, Aqua, and Ventus have in Birth by Sleep, and take up those three Keyblades. to fight their enemy.
So can you explain that cutscene to me then? Because who are they? Who are they fighting? And why is there a ton of Keyblades around them?
At the time, in context of Kingdom Hearts 2, we have no fucking idea.
Okay.
But later on, we find out that that place is called the Keyblade Graveyard, which is a result of a ancient war between multiple Keyblade wielder factions that turned on each other. And they all,
damn.
yeah, they all died. They all died in that war. And all that was left behind were their Keyblades. Hence, Keyblade Graveyard. Mm-hmm. The three people we see in that scene are Terra, Aqua, and Ventus, like we talked about, which is the ending of Birth by Sleep when they're fighting the main bad guy, who is Xehanort.
Okay. So that's what he looked like.
His version of Xehanort in that game is the original Xehanort. The Xehanort as we know it and the way he looks in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 is Terra. Or his body.
What?
Xehanort hit the power of his key.
No, I heard you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand. What do you mean?
Birth by Sleep, Xehanort, which is the main bad guy, has a specific Keyblade whose special ability is to release people's hearts and transfer it into another body. So he was able to pass his heart on to Terra's body while ousting Terra's soul.
And I've already forgotten, so you'll have to remind me. Terra is the one who gave who the rite of passage?
Riku.
That's the connection to the darkness getting into Riku. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. See, it's literally starting to become clearer now. This is making more sense.
And I'm sure, and I guarantee you, playing the games would make a whole lot more sense than the convoluted explanations I'm giving, because this is all by memory.
I'm still making sense out of it. You're doing a good job.
But yeah, Xehanort at that point was looking for a new host because he was getting old and wanted to continue on and stuff like that. Because Terra was prone to the darkness and he had a strong body, he wanted to push him further so that he could take over that body.
Okay.
So that's how the Ansem we know from Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 came to be.
All right. You thinking about what to do next?
I'm trying to explain the story a little bit more. Because, at least with the Keyblade Graveyard, with that scene and stuff like that, because that's the ending scene at Birth by Sleep, where they're fighting each other. Xehanort's trying to take Terra's body. He has Xehanort's underling Vanitas, which is the darkness, not a Heartless, but the darkness of Ventus, to try to get them to duke it out as a pseudo light and dark, for his way to open up Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Because if they fight each other, the winner ends up inheriting what's called the Keyblade, not Key, but the X symbol, Key, CHI.
Okay.
And that one looks weird too, because the Keyblade is basically two Kingdom Keys crossed with a literal blade coming out the middle. You'll have to look that up.
Oh! I have seen that before. That is weird looking.
Yes, it is. It's cool, but it's weird.
So why did they choose to fight in the Keyblade Graveyard? Or is that just?
I think that's just where
wherever
they
were.
I think that's just where they ended up.
Okay.
And then, as that stuff as Terra lost his body to Xehanort, Ventus lost. Even though he won, depending on how you play it, even though he won the fight, he still lost his heart.
Okay.
And then Aqua at the end of everything. Oh, okay. Now I remember. Sorry, it's been a while since I played Birth by Sleep. Ventus won, but Vanitas still took over Ventus's body to control the Keyblade. And because he was taken over, it was up to Aqua at that point to try to save Ventus. And in the process of saving Ventus, Ventus lost his heart. His body became an empty vessel, which she locked away in Castle Oblivion, which is actually a reverse version of their actual homeworld, the Land of Departure, I think. Or I'm confusing that name.
Why does that sound like a place that you leave?
Either which way, this this was their homeworld, and there's a specific Keyblade that controls that world. That if you lock it up, it actually reverses it to become Castle Oblivion. So that if you store something in that castle, you can't find it. You have to you have to have that Keyblade again to reverse it back to the way it was.
Okay. That sounds interesting. Did that ever come into play?
Yes, it came into play in Kingdom Hearts 3.
All right, well, let's jump on into that, since now we know what happened at the very beginning up until now.
Well, before you get to Kingdom Hearts 3, you have a couple of other side games.
Shoot me.
Love you too, buddy.
There's just so much.
Yes, there is. Well, I'm going to go quickly with the other ones because they really don't have much bearing. There's what's called Kingdom Hearts Coded or Recoded in their release. Japan had the coded version. We got recoded. That one was a mobile game. Their first foray into a mobile game. It was episodic. Basically, it tells a story of... it retells a story of what happened in Kingdom Hearts 1 and the notes that Naminé had at the time. And that you also learn more that Mickey knew who Xehanort was, the original Xehanort, and led into like small details of what led into Birth by Sleep. We know about Birth by Sleep, what happened there. The other ones, the next installment would be Kingdom Hearts 3D, which was for the Nintendo 3DS. That one's called Dream Drop Distance, where the Sora and Riku, after the events leading up after Kingdom Hearts 2 and everything like that, they need to take what's called the Mark of Mastery, which is basically the test where you go from Keyblade Wielder to Keyblade Master.
Dude, this is really sounding like Destiny with all the adjectives and verbs and stuff and like proper names for shit.
Oh, so they
and the light and darkness too.
Yeah, pretty much. So maybe they were Kingdom Hearts fans. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, that's a very good possibility.
But yeah, they have to take the Mark of Mastery. But in order for them to do that, they need to basically go into like a sleep type state and learn the ability of what's it called? The power of waking, basically. Which
another name.
It's a special power that lets you restore the same idea like what Kairi did, where she was able to restore Sora from a heartless. Same idea. That power lets you wake up people so that, like in Ventus's case, he was able to, once Sora gained that ability back, learned that ability, he was able to wake up Ventus by restoring his heart to his body.
Okay. Can you wield another person's Keyblade and use its power?
If you are a Keyblade wielder, yes.
Is that why there's different forms for the different worlds?
Right. Each world has its own version of a Keyblade. And then, like I said, each individual person can have their own unique Keyblade as well.
Right.
In this particular case, like in the case of Kingdom Hearts 3, or actually, let's jump to...
Do you dual wield in 2?
In 2, yes. And the reason why you're able to dual wield is because...
of the... I want to guess. Let me do it. It's because of... I'm not going to get the names right, but Sora and the other person came together.
Yes.
Yeah! So is it both their individual Keyblades?
It's not their individual Keyblades, but their ability to wield a Keyblade. Because the reason why they can dual wield, people thought it was because Sora's heart and Roxas as a nobody had the ability to wield the Keyblade. No, because Sora was exposed to Ventus, he was able to wield the Keyblade himself. Because he had Ventus's heart in him, he was also able to wield a second Keyblade. One for each heart, from my understanding.
Okay.
So that's why they're able to. He was able to dual wield in that game, and it just happens to carry over. Not specifically.
Where does he get the other one?
It's the ability to have it. As long as you have that keychain, the keychain for a specific Keyblade, you can summon that key.
So
you can summon that keychain. Right.
Where do the keychains come from?
I'm guessing from the worlds themselves or the individual people.
But how the hell do you get them? The people just walking around with like a giant jailer's key ring with, here's this keychain for this place and here's this one. Is that what it's like?
I don't think they ever actually explained that.
Of course, there's a loophole or a gap in the lore.
Maybe it's not a gap. Maybe they're actually planning on explaining it in 3. I mean 4.
Fair enough.
Or they did explain it in one of the other installments, and I don't remember for the life of me. But yeah,
that's okay.
But yeah, in Dream Drop Distance, Sora did not pass the mark of mastery, but Riku did.
Interesting.
So he lost, and during those events, and they find out that Xehanort came back. Because when you defeat somebody's heart and their heart and their nobody, they actually revive and come back as one, as their original person.
Why? Why? What are these rules?
I'm assuming because you release the body and you release the heart, they're free to roam and merge back together.
So. Okay, so this is really morbid, but it sounds like it's harder to get the two pieces together when they're alive. So you should just kill the two pieces so they come together and form the original again.
Yes, I mean my best explanation is when they separated they were I don't want to say mutated, but they were
They evolved?
No, they were tainted.
Okay.
I'm assuming the best explanation is they were tainted by the darkness, and that's why they became their inverse, where the heart becomes a heartless, the body becomes a nobody.
Okay.
And when you defeat their tainted versions, it releases the light inside, and they end up coming back together.
Yeah, defeating the taint usually does that.
Anywho. Oh God, that is so bad.
You're welcome.
But yeah, that leads into the events of was a teaser game called Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
Yeah, why did they name it 2.8? Is it just because it's almost all the way to 3?
It's supposed to be yes, because it's supposed to be the story introducing Kingdom Hearts 3. The main purpose was one add that little extra story because it's the story of Aqua as she's trapped in the realm of darkness after saving Ventus. But it was also, but the main intention was to basically tease what people are going to be expecting in Kingdom Hearts 3 when they switched over to the Unreal Engine.
Okay.
Because people were very concerned as to how is this game's going to work, what are the mechanics, they're changing engines, things like that. This game was to basically put people's minds at ease, be like, hey, test this out. This is how we're handling things. And it had a good reception.
Cool. I mean, to be honest with you, I forgot that they switched over to Unreal, and looking at 2 to 3, I wouldn't have even guessed.
I don't even remember what their first the engine was before that. Wasn't it Luminos or something like that?
You know what? That sounds right. But when they switched over to Unreal, like I remember them talking about that and seeing gameplay from it compared to 2 and stuff like that. And I'm like, you wouldn't really know that they switched engines. And off on a tangent, but I'm hoping that that's what they do for Halo, because they're switching to Unreal 5 as well. They're getting off of their engine that they built, tore down, rebuilt, or whatever, and moving on to Unreal 2. So hopefully it still has that same feel as well.
I hope so. Because the Switch, it threw me off a little bit, but not so much that I didn't enjoy the game. I just wish they worked on the story a little bit more.
So 1 and 2 used in-house custom-built game engines by Square Enix, and 3 initially started off on the Luminous engine, but was later switched to Unreal 4.
Yes.
Which was influenced by the need for a more widely supported and flexible engine.
Yeah, because I want to say they were spending a lot of money and time just developing the engine. And they were like, okay, let's switch to an engine that we can use, just because this game's already taken how many years?
But it paid off, because the Luminous engine is really nice.
Yes, it is. Let's see. So I just left off on Kingdom Hearts 2.8. And then one other game.
There's another one?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
This is another mobile game, which is the backstory of the Keyblade Wars.
Okay, that's interesting.
And how that came about. That was a mobile game that started off as Kingdom Hearts Key, then Unchained Key, and then eventually was rebranded as Union Cross.
Okay.
This one I had to think about, because this one is the one that surprised me when I was looking up to get notes and stuff like that. This is the one that they surprisingly do not have a whole lot of written detail on it, even though this is the one that's the most discussed. Like on YouTube, you'll find videos. You can't play the game anymore because the game's already shut down. And if you didn't have the download before, you're not even going to get the episodic, because they eventually shut down the service and made it like an episodic. You can see the storyline, as convoluted as the order is. Like it's, I don't like the way they set it up. Sorry for the tangent, but like when it was released, it did not put the scenes in order. They put it in by world. So you would not. So if you go to watch the scenes, you're not going to watch them in chronological order.
That's not cool.
Yeah. So if you ever are interested,
help anything.
If you're ever interested in finding out what the story is chronologically, you can find plenty of YouTube videos that covers that. That community is absolutely amazing. That's how towards
I'm gonna look into that.
That's how towards the end I was, because I was getting kind of tired of the game, to be honest, because the power creep over there. It's, you want to talk about gacha? Holy shit!
It is a mobile game.
It was, the power creep changed monthly, at best, if not sooner.
Gross.
Pretty much, like they would release banners for, oh, you can have this. Then the next week is a similar banner with similar type pieces. And then, again, and then at the end of the month, oh, here's a banner for pieces to combat the previous banner, and so on and so forth. Till eventually everyone was basically OP. And they re-released shitty pieces, adding abilities to them to make them relevant again. it
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I spent money on it for a time, but I'm like, no. So I just stuck with listening to people. And the only time I would play is when they added on the new story, just so I could follow along with the story. Other than that, I wouldn't play it.
That's fair.
But yeah, it told the events leading up to the Keyblade War, up to, during, and the results afterwards. And I thought this was pretty cool because it told the story from the player's perspective. It's not like a specific character that they made up. You make the character. It's told from your perspective. This is what happened and stuff like that.
You're literally playing your part in the war.
Exactly. Which actually leads to a really cool Easter egg that they included in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Ooh.
The reason why Keyblade War came about was due to a prophecy that only the faction leaders called the Foretellers knew about from a book that was given to them by their master, known as the Master of Masters. The book, and what's weird about that is each book told the same story, except each book was missing a piece because they were only told what was relevant to them, so that it led to what the prophecy said.
That's one way to make a prophecy come true.
Pretty much. And at the end, once they clashed, the reason why the factions were going against each other because they were there were something in the background that was manipulating them, getting them more basically
Aggressive?
Yes. They were becoming drawn to the darkness.
Okay.
Common thing.
Darkness corrupts and stuff.
Right. So Keyblade War happens. All the factions fight each other. They all end up dying. Only a select few people survived. These people were actually hand chosen by one of the foretellers because one of her jobs, told by in her book, was to say, "Hey, you need to pick these people, put them aside, and say, hey, you need to stay out. This is what's going to happen. You need to stay away. That way you can survive." Your character is actually one of them. But still ends up in the Keyblade War anyways. And then that's where it leads to the rebranding of Union Cross, because Union Cross is the story after the Keyblade War, which is the surviving group. They're called the Dandelions, and they inherit the books from the foretellers, and they investigate why things happened the way they did, and that's how they find out that there were beings of darkness in the background that manipulated everybody, and they tried to finish the job by manipulating them, but they were able to escape through a time machine, sort of.
What?
That part I'm not under. That part I didn't understand.
Pulling the strings and shit, I understand that, but then you're like, time machine.
Because apparently somebody in at the place is called Scala ad Kylum, which is where all the Keyblade wielders live. One of their higher ups had developed some type of time travel, but in order to do that, they had to. In the game, the only way to time travel, at least from that explanation, was you had to separate your heart from your body, and your heart travels into the future and reconstitutes itself.
Okay. I mean, I can't really question some of this stuff because it is all fantasy shit, but I'm just like, what?
Uh-huh. Like, there's more details behind it that I'm definitely leaving behind that would make more sense.
That's okay. I plan on reading up more on this later.
But they escape to basically their hearts escape to the future. At what points in the future each one of them is different, apparently. Because remember how? Because bringing back to what I was talking about with Marluxia and Larcene, right?
That those are people from Organization 13 in the second game?
The original iteration of the Organization 13. Yep.
Okay.
When I mean one of the things I was talking about, where they're separate, they're like innocent bystanders type of thing. These people are actually the nobodies of two of the dandelions. Marluxia is Lorium. His actual name is Lorium. And Larcene is Larcene. What the hell is her? Lean, maybe? Or Nell? No. Oh, Jesus. Well, let's just backtrack to the organization members. Their names all have an X in it.
Okay.
If you take the X out, the remaining letters is an anagram of their real person's name. So, like, Roxas is Sora with an X in there. Xemnas is Ansem with an X in there. So
Got it.
So those two were there. I'm trying to remember who There's a girl named Scold, who we haven't found yet in the future. And a boy that appears in one of the scenes in Kingdom Hearts 3, which is a part of the Easter egg, is the people that died in those players that died in the Keyblade Graveyard from the Keyblade War.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that they did was the top, I want to say, like 200 players in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross at the time. Their names were featured in Kingdom Hearts 3 during a specific scene. So as they're as you're fighting the 13 Darknesses and their souls come back to help, their names are popping across on the screen. Like you see a whole list roll by.
That's cool.
That was awesome. I was pissed. I missed it. I was close. I missed it.
Oh.
Yep.
I was going to make a joke and say, so how was it seeing your name up there?
I did
Sorry,
it!
man. So, in Kingdom Hearts 3, you're still fighting Organization 13?
A newer iteration of Organization 13.
It's not the original peoples?
Nope. Not all of them. Some came back. This Organization 13, after Xehanort was revived in his original body, are vessels of himself, either past versions of himself or other people that he has put his soul, a portion of his soul into. So, like, for example, one of them is like Replica Riku.
Is that a name?
Yes. That is a character.
That's an actual name?
Yeah, that is a copy of Riku from Chain of Memories. Because
They're a person? Like part of the organization?
Yes. They were brought back from another point. This is where time travel gets brought back in, because the younger version of Xehanort is allowed to travel back and forth because of his Keyblade. So he brought back...
That sounds OP.
Yep. He brought back... So because he was able to bring back his... He was able to travel to wherever he was in time. He can travel back and forth between those time periods and pull out versions of himself, whether they're vessels with his soul or younger or older versions of himself. So you have...
Where the hell do these people get these powers?
They're... I want to say they're unique to each Keyblade. essentially. So, like, the Keyblade that young Xehanort has is a time-traveling Keyblade, which allows him to do that. So he was
It's just crazy that somebody can actually make something like that and have that power in this type of world. Because time travel and stuff, being able to manipulate things forward and backward is pretty OP.
pretty much. Like, you can't change the events, because once, let's say, for example, when they disappear, they return back to where they came from.
Okay.
So then we have young Xehanort, who's collecting all these people. You have current Xehanort, which is the remerger. He was able to get Xemnas back from his point in time. Ansem the Heartless from his point in time. They got Replica Riku. They got Marluxia, Cyax, Vexen, and Larcene. And Demix.
Why did I see Mickey in a Organization 13 robe before?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Why?
So that he can blend in with the organization and be able to travel through darkness without being affected.
Okay. I thought I missed something with that. All right.
No, he wasn't actually part of the organization. He was investigating them at that time.
I don't see Disney allowing them to make any kind of change to Mickey other than being a good guy fighting against the dark stuff.
Oh, he almost wasn't in Kingdom Hearts 1.
I believe it.
The little scene that he got at the end of the game, they had to fight for.
I believe it.
Trying to think. And
Sorry.
No, not a problem. Like, the events that lead up to him bringing them together is actually during the events of Dream Drop Distance. Because technically, what they wanted was they wanted to make Sora the 13th vessel. But they ended up failing in doing that. I want to say the 13th vessel at that point ended up being Xion, I think. Which is a character from 358 over 2 days.
What is that? What does that mean?
I have yet to figure the meaning of that name out. But that game is telling the story of Roxas from when he woke up as a nobody to when he gets captured by Riku and put into that digital Twilight Town.
Okay.
And the premise of that game is the organization's already teaching them, hey, you need your key to reviving Kingdom Hearts. You need to kill all these Heartless, and because he's not doing it fast enough, they use their research on, like, the replicas to create another replica of Roxas, or a copy of Sora or Roxas, named Xion. Except she's a female that looks like Kairi. And over time, she ends up taking his powers little by little till at the end of the game they have to fight each other and he takes it back. And she disappears. Well, Ansem or young Xehanort was able to go in the past and bring Xion back and make her one of the 13 vessels.
Okay.
Understanding it yet?
We'll just say yes.
Okay.
Yes. Totally. So, back to Kingdom Hearts 3 now. He's gathering all these people from the different points in time, I guess.
Right.
To complete the Organization 13 to
fight.
Do the same thing that they did in the second one?
Yeah. No. This time around, those 13 darknesses are to fulfill the actual prophecy to open the Kingdom Hearts, which is 13 darknesses versus the 7 lights. Which at the time, the 7 lights are Sora, Riku, Kairi, ironically Axel, who happened to get a Keyblade and at some point. Crap. Terra, Aqua, Ventus. Yeah, that's 7. There we go. And they had to face off each other in order to release Kingdom Hearts again, along with the true Keyblade.
And I'm trying to think of how to ask this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you go through the world, you do all the shit. You fight the bad guys. Do you fight them individually, or is it just like a culmination of chasing them down to fight them at the end?
Oh, the Organization 13. You fight them down individually. Well, yes and no. They have them split up into stages where you go from one area of the Keyblade graveyard. You're fighting a couple of them. Once you win, you can move on to the next area, and so on and so forth. Depending on the order, will determine how the story goes.
Show the Keyblade graveyard in 3.
Yes, that
sounds like it'd be pretty cool.
That's how that battle started. It starts in the Keyblade graveyard and then leads to ruins that they can travel through and fight the 13 Darknesses.
That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm. And then Xehanort collects all everything he needs to open it up and summon the true Keyblade, and then summons Kingdom Hearts and gains all power and whatnot. And then Sora fights Xemnas with his power and eventually takes the Keyblade back and kills Xehanort.
For good, or does he split up again?
Oh no, he's good. He's gone. He turned at that point. He realized the error of his ways, and ends up going into the light.
After getting his ass kicked so many times, he's finally like, "Okay, I get it. I can't do it. Goodbye."
I've learned my lesson, old man.
So, what happens to Sora at the end of that for the trailer for the 4th game, with him waking up in a real city?
Okay. The reason the events that lead. You might have to cut that up.
Okay.
So what leads to that scene and leads into the events of what's eventually the start of Kingdom Hearts 4 is if a Keyblade wielder uses the power of waking, even though the power of waking is a symbol of mastery, if you use it too much, you can actually die and disappear. So what happened was through the events of that Keyblade War, everyone technically died, and Sora used his power of waking to bring everybody back to finish the fighting. At one point, Kairi was killed again by Xehanort as the final key to unlock Kingdom Hearts. After everything was done, Sora used the power of waking one more time to bring her back. But in doing so, he disappeared.
Okay.
People thought he was gone for good. With the extra scenes, we come to find out he actually ended up in in a world called Verum Rex, which, if you play Kingdom Hearts 3, there is a game in Toy Story World that is called Verum Rex, which is, a lot of people are guessing, Nomura's way of saying "fuck you" to Square, and got his Final Fantasy 13 verses out.
Okay.
And the events at the extra scene leads him to being transported to that world. I don't know if it's in the game or if it's just a separate world that's based off the game type of thing. But it leads to that, and then they realize, hey, Sora's still around. We need to try and find him And then Riku sets off and ends up going into another world, and I'm assuming he's going to meet up with Sora and Virum Rex at some point.
So then where is Quadratum?
Quadratum. Virum Rex is the game. Quadratum is the world.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then, so what is Quadratum supposed to be? Kind of like Purgatory? Because I'm only asking that because it's like he's walking around. I'm trying to remember the trailer from memory. He wakes up in a bed, and like he looks around. I don't remember if there's people around or not, but it seems like no one's aware of him. But then there's like some evil thing there too, and then that's all I remember.
Quadratum is the world, is the video game world that we were talking about. I'm assuming it's an alternate dimension where light and darkness doesn't exist. But when Sora goes over there, apparently the darkness makes it over as well. And that's why we see Heartless in the teaser trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4, and then the giant Heartless. So I'm assuming they're going to explain more why that's happening in Kingdom Hearts 4. But
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm just like, the fact that trailer looks more lifelike and realistic compared to like 1 through 3, I'm wondering what direction they're going to take it.
I'm assuming they're going to lean more heavily on like Final Fantasy style for at least for that area, because like I said, the Virum Rex or Quadratum looks and has the feel of what Kingdom Hearts Kingdom Hearts 13 Versus was supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Before they took Nomura off that project to solely work on Kingdom Hearts 3.
I also don't know if you saw my face, but I made a face when I was reading some stuff about Kingdom Hearts. You know what number 14... no, 14. What the hell am I saying? Do you know what number 4 is in the lineup of games? It's not 14. Kingdom Hearts 4 is what number in a series of Kingdom Hearts games?
Let me see. You got KH1, Chain of Memories, KH2... 385 over 2. Got Coded. Union Cross. You got Dark Road. You got Birth by Sleep. Got Kingdom Hearts 3. 2.8. Dream Drop Distance. 12?
You are very close.
13?
Kingdom Hearts 4 will be number 15.
Jesus.
I know. I saw that and I was like, oh, what the 15? I truly don't even know what to say to that. Like, I get games will have spin-offs and things like that. And I've seen like 5, 6, maybe even 8.
Yep.
Fucking 15.
And that's the thing. The main titles are the numbered titles. The side ones, they're
know.
not. But they're all the same story. They're all part of the same story, though, and they tell the lore.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know certain things, they're not gonna.
Is that a sucky way of doing it too? Like, I don't like that word. Let's say it's not the most. It's a kludgy way of doing it because it's filling in gaps on different platforms and things like that you may not even own or realize that it exists. So you're missing part of the story. Is that a great way to go about it?
No. I can see how they did the main titles. Like going from Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2, you could play it and not have to not play Chain of Memories and be fine. I'm going to beg to differ on not having to play the side stories to go from Kingdom Hearts 2 to Kingdom Hearts 3 to not understand. Because that is a big jump in lore. Especially where you're introducing Terra, Aqua, and Ventus. If you didn't play Birth by Sleep, you have no idea who the fuck they are.
Right.
You don't know what led up to. If you didn't play Dream Drop Distance or didn't know the story, you didn't know how they got to that point, or how did Riku become a Keyblade master and not Sora, or how did Sora lose all his powers?
Hmm.
You're fine with not playing the 358 over 2 days, because all it is just a fleshed out version of Roxas' story while including Shion. But you kind of get the point. It's not a big loss there. And then if you don't play 2.8, you don't know how Aqua even got to where she was. Especially if you didn't play Birth by Sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So they all play into each other, and yes, it sucks, and I was sucked into it. You'd have to get the separate systems to be able to play it. Like Chain of Memories was Game Boy Advance. I already had a Game Boy Advance, so that worked. But 358 over 2 days, Dream Drop Distance, those were DS and 3DS. I only played 358 over 2 days because I borrowed my brother's DS at the time. Did not play Dream Drop Distance. Recoded was a mobile game. I missed out on that before I even found out about it. Let's see. Birth by Sleep was PSP. When I learned about it, I pre-ordered it. I bought the PSP bundle, like the Kingdom Hearts edition of the PSP that came with the game.
Nice.
And oh dear God, how many? I don't know how many times. Just so I could finish the game, because my original version ended up having an issue. I had to send it back to Sony to honor to get the warranty to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Twice.
Oh God.
Uh-huh.
I've only ever had to do that once with one console, and it took like a week. So the fact that you had to do it twice to get it back in working order stinks, because that takes a while.
Oh yeah. And like months, I was pissed. I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on? And it was to the point that, like, when I called in the second time, they're like, listen, there's got to be something you're doing wrong, because there's no way you're running into this.
Let's blame the consumer.
Yeah, there's no way you're running into the same problem again. We tested it in our facility and something like that. I'm like, well, something's causing it. I get it. It's not working. Ironically enough, I think it was the memory card I was using.
Oh, so it was you. So I'm looking at Wikipedia really quick, because I think we're nearing the end since we've gone through all the games.
Yep.
And I was reading the story setting for Kingdom Hearts 4, and what they have here is kind of interesting. So I'm going to read it to you really quick.
Yep.
It says Kingdom Hearts 4 serves as the beginning of the quote-unquote Lost Master story arc. The game takes place in Quadratum, an expensive city set in a realistic world inspired by Tokyo, featuring fictionalized Shibuya and Minami oh my God, Aoyama. Jesus Christ. I don't know why that took me so long. Thank you. Sora's apartment in Minami, that word, serves as the player's home base in the early part of the game. Quadratum serves as a hub world, with players returning there after traveling to other worlds. Several worlds based on Disney properties will also appear, and the advancement of hardware capabilities since the series began played a factor in determining the number of worlds created for the game. So, that sounds like it's taking Traverse Town and making Quadratum that.
Basically, they have a home world. Kingdom Hearts World 1 was Traverse Town. Kingdom Hearts 2 was Hollow Bastion. I want to say Birth by Sleep, that was Hollow Bastion, but it was renamed to its true name, something Gardens. I don't remember.
That's a question for another time, because now I I don't know what you mean. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm looking.
We'll be here another half an hour.
Oh my god. I'm looking at least for Kingdom Hearts 4, and I hope to God that they don't take forever. I'm looking forward to it just because I want to see how they go for it. From the way they explained, it's not going to be as long between installments anymore, and not as many, or at least not as many side games, because Nomura has a point where he wants to retire, and he wants to be able to, as soon as he finishes one, he's immediately going on to the next. That way they're in succession.
You know, it's a little concerning to me when you're like, there's not going to be that many games in between this. It's like, okay, cool, so we're not going to do 5, maybe 2 or 3. Do they really need anything in between?
I don't know. Like, if he's going to go into this much detail and want to, like, do backstory and stuff like that, then he probably will, but I don't think he's going to be able to.
Put it in the game, then. Like, even just make it a cutscene or something that you read, or, like, you can play his memories of how he got there, or, like, piece it together or something. Make it part of the game. Don't make another game just to do that.
I don't know. He likes to expand his worlds, I guess. Why do you think Kingdom Hearts 4 and why they pulled him from Versus 13 and made him focus solely on Kingdom Hearts 4? Because he was doing the same thing with both of them. They were like, "Yeah,
I like Nomura. He's got a lot of good ideas when it comes to games, but you know they probably did that for a good reason."
They're like, "We're gonna rein you in a little bit."
He needs to write a journal of all of his ideas and like flesh them out as much as he can, so that way he can pass it on to somebody. Keep this shit going.
I think that would be pretty cool, but I think unless somebody picks up the mantle after these next 3 installments, I think they're gonna be done.
Next 3 installments. Do you think they're gonna be done with 4? Like that's gonna be the final one?
He's already made the intention. This next arc is going to be 3 major titles.
Oh,
like he has the basic story of how he wants to do it already fleshed out.
Okay, so we're gonna get 4, 5, and 6, huh?
Pretty much.
Cool. You'll be eating good for a while.
I hope so. Or I'll cry.
Do you not have high hopes?
Do you know how long it was between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3?
I don't remember offhand, but I know that it was quite a while.
Okay. I actually have dates. Kingdom Hearts 2, released in Japan, December 22nd of 2005.
Okay.
Want to guess when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out?
2018.
Released January 25th, 2019.
Oh, I was close.
Mm-hmm. So
that's what, 11 years? No, I'm sorry.
14 years and 1 month. It was going.
You know, how much of that is them switching over to the new engine? Like setting themselves back?
Oh, big time. I want to say they switch it over like 2 to 3 years in or something like that.
And if they don't have anybody that knows Unreal Engine and stuff, they have to relearn all that stuff.
Oh yeah. And the release, when they released it in 2019, was already a delay. This was supposed to come. This was supposed to come out. No, actually, that release date is wrong. Because I remember specifically getting it for my birthday. Oh, shit. Hold on. I'm going to check my Amazon order. Because I pre-ordered it on Amazon.
And it says January 25th, 2019.
Unless it was like an early birthday present.
Japan was 25th. Rest of the world was 29th.
Yeah, there was people were pissed about that because it was originally supposed to before it got pushed back. It was supposed to be released around the world at the same time.
A version of the game bundled with the DLC titled as Kingdom Hearts 3 Plus Remind was released on Windows via Epic Game Store on March 30th. Same version on the Switch via cloud streaming on February 10th, 2022.
Wow, there was a 3-year gap between that? Jesus.
So did you get the original or did you get the Kingdom Hearts 3 Plus Remind?
No, I got the original. Remind I bought as a DLC after.
Okay.
Oh, you think I wasn't going to get the game when it released? I pre-ordered that shit a couple of years in advance.
That's fair.
Okay.
Can you believe that we've been going on about Kingdom Hearts for almost 2 hours now?
Have we? Holy shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the game series. What do you expect? 15 fucking installments.
And I appreciate you sitting through this with me the entire time.
Hey, honestly, I wanted to learn and make sense out of this. And to be fair, I've come away from this with a lot better of an understanding about this. I'm just going to do some additional reading to fill in like the little details between things, so that way it's more fleshed out. But the entire storyline from 1 to now 4 makes a lot more sense.
Yes, and I'm glad I was able to enlighten you on that, because I thought I was going to confuse the living shit out of everybody.
It was confusing as you're talking about it, but as you go on and like say, well, this is because of this, and here was this one, and this links here, and this is how they got to there. It all makes sense. It all fell into place.
And that's where I want to say that's where a lot of people's convolution is they know bits and pieces from, they know the main titles, but they hear bits and pieces of certain side games, so they have incomplete lore, which is confusing the hell out of them. But once you read,
only a fraction of the people that played those in between games too.
Exactly, because think about it: unless you're watching it on YouTube, people unless you played when it was out, Key, Unchained Key, and Union Cross, and Dark Road. Actually, that was one I didn't talk about. That was the story of how Xehanort became who he was from being a child to where he became the main bad guy. And another tidbit, I did not find this out until the end. Xehanort is a reincarnation of the player character from Union Cross.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I mean, that's a cool way to tie things in, but also, like, really? All right, man.
Well, what I would recommend that we can try and do, if we ever decide to record us playing games, we can have a session of getting through Kingdom Hearts one after another.
I'm going to spend 4 years on that alone.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, maybe not for you. I'm going to make you play through all the Legend of... That's going to be our next Let's Talk About. I'm going to tell you all about Legend of Zelda. We're going to sit there for the next 2 hours and tell you all about that.
Please do. I want to know. I was not lucky enough to be graced with the Nintendo systems.
Long story short, it's the same thing over and over, just at different points. More or less.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. We'll get more into it later when we record another one of these.
Yes.
Oh, I want to get Sean in on that because he knows quite a bit about that stuff too, but I guarantee I know way more. I've got 3 different Zelda... Actually, 4 different Legend of Zelda encyclopedias, the Legend of Zelda anime over there. I've got a couple different things about, like, the guidebooks and things like that. We could do this all night.
Yes, we could.
But I need sleep.
Okay.
As do you.
All right.
We're almost at 2 hours. We could keep going and pushing it to 2 hours, but I think we're good. I think
okay. We'll stop torturing the people. If you've listened to this far, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
You made
Hopefully
this
it
grown
makes
man
more sense to you.
man happy.
I'm happy that I understand it a lot more. And to be honest with you, I want to go and play Kingdom Hearts a little bit now because I remember how much fun I had playing the first one, and now that the story makes sense, I'm like, I can go into this knowing what's going on now. So maybe I'll sit down and do that one of these days.
Mm-hmm. What I will do is I'm going to see if, because I believe the PS4 versions of the Kingdom Hearts games are backwards compatible on the PlayStation 5. I'm going to test that. If it is,
Cool.
and you're interested, you may be able to pick it up.
Woo! Sorry, got excited.
Oh, by all means. I will. I don't care. We can live stream. I will watch you. You can play. I will sit here and watch.
I believe
I
it.
have no problem with that.
It's like, let me see you do it.
With that being
That's what I
said, people,
imagine you're gonna be like.
before you think I'm a little more a little creepier than I really am, where can they find us?
If you want more of a podcast like this and stuff, you can find us on Blue Sky. Well, podcasts, we're on Apple, Google, and Spotify. I still never set up Amazon. I talked about it a lot, and I never did it. I'll look at doing that. But we're also on Instagram and Blue Sky and Facebook. I couldn't think of the other one. Oh, there's another, and Threads. Everything that gets posted on things gets on Threads. Also, follow us so you get the fun gaming facts for the day, because I'm uploading those every day at around noon.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yay! All right, bedtime.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for the story time, Mike.
Anytime.